Hello and welcome from FacePrep. In this video, we will be discussing the TCS Digital updated official eligibility criteria and pattern. So you might have already watched our videos where we had brought you the pattern and previous year questions in terms of what happened in the process the previous years. So, and a lot of you would have been receiving notifications from your institutions in terms of registering for TCS Digital. And a lot of you would have also begun your preparation with FacePrep TCS Digital Cracker. In this video, we would like to let you know that there are official updates in terms of eligibility criteria, and TCS has also released an overall idea in terms of what the pattern is going to be like for this year's TCS Digital hiring process. So we'll be discussing those in this video. So first, we'll talk about the role package in important details. So here the role and package have not changed. So the role continues to be working in the TCS Digital's digital technology domain. So this is one of the very interesting and innovative divisions in TCS, which deals with technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, Internet of Things, virtual reality, blockchain, and so many other emerging top performing technologies. So it is to work on these technologies and create a lot of interesting products is why TCS Digital is going to continue hiring 2021 pass outs for this year. And the package continues to be 7 lakhs per annum. Now, certain important details which we already revealed in our previous video is that this continues to be an on-campus process for specific TCS premium colleges. So there are certain colleges which are accredited with TCS. So this is going to be an on-campus process for specific TCS premium colleges. And for all of these colleges which are TCS premium institutions, where TCS has already released info about wanting to have their students registered for this process, the online test, the first step, is expected to happen on 3rd and 4th October 2020. So if you want to find out if your institution is a TCS premium college, please check with the training and placement officer. And if you are attempting the TCS Digital process, please feel free to drop in your comments and ask us any questions that you have in terms of how to prepare. We'll be very happy in terms of answering your questions. Let's also discuss the official eligibility criteria that TCS has released to its premium institutions. First is you must be from a TCS premium college. There is a long list of colleges, and like I said earlier, you will need to check with your training and placement team if your college belongs to that list. Now, if you belong to a TCS premium institution, in terms of percentage, you will need to maintain minimum 60% or 6 CGPA throughout academics. And you should also have an aggregate of 70% or 7 CGPA in the highest qualification till the semester for which the results have been declared. So if your highest qualification, for example, happens to be BE or BTech Mechanical Engineering, then you will need to have an aggregate of 70% or 7 CGPA in that highest qualification till the last semester. So you should have maintained minimum 6 CGPA throughout. And also your overall aggregate should have been 70% when the overall CGPA or percentage is calculated. In terms of backlogs, arrears and ATKT, you cannot have any backlogs, active backlogs at the time of appearing for the process. But in case you do end up incurring any backlogs after the process over, you will need to ensure there are no pending backlogs at the time of joining TCS after the offer is rolled out. So if anything, if you do end up incurring any additional backlogs after the process is over, then you will need to definitively clear them within the final semester for the offer to be valid from TCS Digital. In terms of gap and break in education, the break should not be due to extended education. So when we mean extended education, what TCS specifically says is you are definitely required to ensure that any exam or degree or any schooling that you would have done, whatever exam that you would have had to write, in terms of clearing it, you should have written it within the timeline prescribed by the board or the university that you are a part of. So when they mean extended education, what they mean is, for example, let's say if you're somebody who, let's say, has done a 10th class or a 12th class and took a break and then later on wrote the final exam after a long period, right, after taking an extended break, right, appearing for the exam well after the university or the board deadline had elapsed, then in this case you will not be eligible. So this break should not be due to extended education. But you can have an academic break in between. So in between classes, in between degrees, you can have a break. And this break should not exceed 24 months. And you will have to declare this break very, very clearly when you do the application process. The application process is currently happening on the TCS Next Step portal, which the link is being shared by training and placement officers. You will need to declare any breaks that you have, but such breaks are allowed and permissible only for valid reasons. So you are expected to provide all documentation proofs in terms of why the break happened, and only specific genuine reasons are being considered. Only full-time courses are considered, and students, if you had done your secondary or senior secondary education from National Institute of Open Schooling, you are also eligible if you had done your other courses as full-time courses. Candidates with prior experience are also allowed, but the maximum work experience that is allowed is up to 2 years. So anything more than that, you will not be eligible for this process. And there is also an age restriction. The age restriction is 18 to 28 years. Now, apart from these eligibility criteria, training and placement officers of TCS premium institutions will also be able to nominate additional 15% students who do not exactly fit this eligibility criteria. So that is the additional 15%. So TPOs can nominate additional 15% students who do not fit this particular eligibility criteria under two conditions. First is, the TPOs can nominate toppers in academics or people who are exceptionally talented in programming from disciplines other than the ones that are allowed by TCS. So the next part of this video, I will show you what are the streams or disciplines that are allowed. So if you do not belong to that stream, but if you are a topper, if you are exceptionally talented in programming, then your TPO will be able to make an exception, but this is up to the college management to decide. You will definitely need to belong to the same TCS premium institution. There is also an additional way of nominating people from group institutions. So let's say if you belong to a college which is not directly a TCS premium institute, but you belong to a group of colleges whose, let's say, parent institute happens to be a TCS premium college, there also college managements and training and placement officers will be able to nominate toppers and people who are exceptionally talented in programming from group institutes which are not directly TCS premium institutions. These are the eligible streams that you needed to belong to in terms of ensuring that you're eligible for the TCS digital recruitment process this time. So you will need to be from any of these streams. UG and PG both are allowed. So computer science, information technology, software engineering, ECE, EEE, electronics, telecommunication, EIE, mechanical, applied electronics, mechatronics. These are all the streams which are allowed. And if you are from MCA, you are allowed if you had a BSc or a BCA with math or statistics backgrounds. If you are from MSc, then you will need to belong to computer science, IT or software backgrounds. So these are the allowed streams. Like I said in the previous part of this video, there are two exceptions. First is, if you did not belong to any of these streams but you belong to a TCS premium institution, it is up to the college management to nominate you. That is one. Second is, you still had to belong to any of these streams, but you don't belong to a TCS premium institution. So in that case, if you belong to a group of colleges where the parent college happens to be a TCS premium institution, in that case also you can be nominated, but this is up to the college management's discretion. In its communication to institutions, TCS has also made one thing very, very clear. That is, there are additional opportunities if you belong to TCS premium colleges. So students who take up the TCS digital process but they do not clear the test or the interview process, so they will have a second shot. So that second shot is to have an additional opportunity to appear for the TCS NQT All India process. So this is expected to be the TCS Ninja process, right? Now there isn't exactly an official date announcement that has happened. TCS, but they have very clearly mentioned in the document that has been sent to colleges that the TCS NQT All India process is definitely expected to happen. They have also mentioned clearly that the official date will be announced shortly. So this is good news for everybody who is waiting to take up the TCS NQT All India process, which is usually called the TCS Ninja. Right. So if you are from a TCS Premium College, if you don't clear the TCS digital process, you will have another shot at TCS recruitment this year. That process will be the TCS NQT All India process. Now let's talk about the online test pattern. So in our last video, we had brought to you what was the online test pattern that was followed last year in the TCS digital process. So we have told you that last year this was the pattern we just followed, where there were 4 sections, 4 groups to say: English, quantitative aptitude, programming, logic, MCQs and coding. Right. So this was the pattern which we had described in detail in the previous year, and a lot of you who have started preparing with this have still taken the right decision, because you have still ensured that you have started your preparation well ahead of the curve against a lot of other people who are still waiting for the process. Now we have an update on what is the official pattern for this year. In its communication, TCS has made this very clear. And in the official document that TCS has sent, they have said that there is one important change. So the change is programming logic MCQs do not look like they're going to be tested this year. Instead, the test is going to be broken into 2 parts. There is a part A and a part B. So in part A, there are going to be 2 groups. One is English, the other is quantitative aptitude. And TCS has clearly said that the English group is going to be for 10 minutes and the quantitative aptitude group is going to be for 40 minutes. They have also officially mentioned that the part B is going to be called an advanced coding test, which is going to be for 60 minutes. Now, one other thing that is very clear is that you will need to take up both parts when you take up the TCS digital test. Now what TCS has not officially released is the number of questions per group. Alright, so this part is not official yet. Usually what will happen is there will be a sample test which TCS will release for all of its recruitment process. So when the sample test is getting released, the number of questions will be official. But what we can anticipate by looking at previous year patterns is that the expected number of questions for English is going to range between 10 to 15. So last year specifically, for example, if you had noticed, in the English section, there were specifically 15 questions in fact. So there were 15 questions that were followed last year for 10 minutes. So the same number of questions could repeat, or it could be 10 questions also. So this is the expected number of questions that you can look forward to. Now quantitative aptitude, they have said that it's 40 minutes. So this is an increase of 10 minutes from previous year's pattern. Right. Now keeping in mind that in the last video, one thing that we told you clearly is that TCS usually follows a ratio, time to question ratio of 2 minutes per question. So it was 15 questions in 30 minutes last year. So by that logic, you can expect somewhere close to 20 questions. Now in the advanced coding section, there is an additional increase of 5 minutes. Last year it was 55 minutes and this year it is going to be 60 minutes. And given that it's going to be a coding section on the TCS digital level, you will mostly be anticipated to answer one question, because the questions are naturally going to be expected to be difficult. And last year the pattern anyway had one question 55 minutes. These are expected number of questions. This info is not officially out yet, but this is a very directionally proper way in terms of kickstarting your preparation process. Now certain online test key insights that we diverged in our video last year, they remain the same and they will continue to ensure that you prepare properly for the process this year. So first is the test platform is continued to be expected to be TCS Ion. There aren't any changes majorly expected in that. And last year there were fill in the blank questions as well as MCQs. This year also we can expect that. And in all of the previous years of TCS NQT or TCS Digital, there have been negative marking for MCQs, but the fill in the blank questions have not had negative marking. And quantitative aptitude, like we said earlier in the previous video, usually TCS's pattern always has an on-screen calculator for quants. Despite the questions taking 2 minutes per question, the questions are usually very challenging in nature. So for that purpose, there is usually an on-screen calculator which will allow you to prepare in terms of doing calculations easily while you answer the quants questions. And the languages allowed for coding are expected to be C, C++, Java, Python, Perl. Right? These have been the 5 languages that have been used for the last 2 years of both TCS recruitment process, TCS NQT or Ninja, and also TCS Digital. So for TCS Digital also, these have been the 5 languages that have been allowed since 2018. You can anticipate these language choices for you to be allowed for the TCS Digital advanced coding test, which is the part B test. Now this is also a part that we covered in the previous video. We wanted to kind of reiterate it one more time so that you can kickstart your preparation process. The syllabus for TCS Digital online test from previous years, these have been the topics which have been tested in the 3 sections that are retained in terms of the online test. So like you saw in the pattern slide that we spoke about, English is retained, quants is retained with additional, it now becomes a 40 minute section as opposed to a 30-minute section, and the coding part right now becomes a 60-minute group. So let's try to understand in these 3 different parts, in these 3 different groups, what kind of questions, what kind of topics has TCS Digital tested in the previous years. English has had questions on topics such as para jumbles, sentence completion, where you had single blank, double blank questions. You also had error spotting questions where you had a particular sentence with a part of it having an error, and you needed to identify which part has got the error. You also have had to find out how do you rectify the error in the underlying part of the sentence. So these are questions which come under error spotting. Close passage is one of the popular question types that comes in TCS, both the TCS recruitment process in terms of digital as well as the NQT for Ninja, where you need to fill in the blanks that are given in passages with appropriate words based on grammar as well as vocabulary. There have also been separate vocabulary questions where you have been asked to answer questions on synonyms and antonyms. Knowing topics such as tenses, phrasal verbs, prepositions, forms of voice and speech. So they will help you in terms of answering either direct questions or the grammar that you would need in terms of ensuring that you properly answer close passage questions. So close passage questions are mainly dependent on grammar and vocabulary, and these are easy to learn and very commonly used grammar topics that you will be able to apply to solve close passage questions. In quantitative aptitude, which is considered to be one of the tougher sections in TCS Digital, the topics have ranged from geometry, mensuration, progressions, logarithms, numbers, permutation and combination, probability. These have been very hotly tested topics in TCS Digital. There have also been questions on time and work, time, speed and distance, percentages, simple and compound interest, and profit and loss. Now, what has now been renamed as an advanced coding group is still a section that has always had very challenging questions from TCS Digital in the previous years. So questions like how we covered in our previous video have ranged from math-based, array-based, string-based, and questions where you had to apply data structures and algorithms in terms of optimizing time and space complexity. You can definitely expect scenario-based questions of challenging nature in this particular advanced coding part. So this is the part B test that you will need to take, and like we discussed earlier, you will have choice of languages which are expected to be C, C++, Java, Python and Perl. So if you are a master in any of these languages, as in if you know fundamentals of programming very solidly and you're able to implement data structures and algorithms using that language, then you will need to practice a lot of previous year TCS digital questions, a lot of scenario based questions in terms of ensuring that you are in a good place to go and take on this recruitment process. Now, this is one part which FacePrep has been talking about for quite some time. Well, I'm sure that if you're watching this video and if you're not from a TCS premium college or you're not from a college which happens to be a part of group of colleges where one of them happens to be a TCS premium college, you might be having this question, then how do I participate in the process? Am I allowed to aspire for TCS Digital? As of previous years, yes. Right. If what has happened in the previous years continues this year as well, then definitively yes. You also have additional pathways. The first pathway is a TCS Code Vita pre-qualifier. So if you have cracked the TCS Code Vita pre-qualifier and if you got a rank, then there are very high chances that you will be called for a direct interview to interview for the Ninja profile, which is the 3.8 lakhs per annum package. Now, once you clear this interview, then you will be given an opportunity to upgrade your package to digital, where you will need to take up a digital test and then you will need to take up one more interview. This has been the pattern in previous years. So this digital test is usually the same pattern test that happens for the TCS Premium Institutes on campus. So which is expected to have the same pattern of Part A, English plus Quants, and Part B, Coding. Another opportunity for you to crack TCS Digital is participating in the TCS NQT All India process, the Ninja process, which is expected to happen after digital is over. So when that process happens, historically, the toppers, the top performers will be shortlisted. They will be receiving separate emails to allow them to upgrade their package to digital. In that case also, you should be taking up a separate digital test, an online test, same digital test that, same pattern test that TCS Premium College students will be taking, and you will need to clear an interview. If you do that, you still have a chance of cracking TCS Digital.
Hey YouTube, how are you doing? Stay tuned to FacePrep for more awesome videos. Don't forget to subscribe.